This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. And what the fuck is going on here?
Let's go. Are you okay? You look sad today.
What's that?
Oh, it was a delay. It was a delay for the intro.
No, it wasn't. He's not wearing a black shirt.
I took it off
His
before.
camera literally just froze up right now.
Okay.
I
thought you did that on purpose.
I just
Yeah,
I
thought for sure you
did
did it on purpose.
I was on that.
It's all right. Don't worry, Guapo. You have the entire show to fix it because that will be the last we hear from Conrad.
It is true. It is true. I'll see you guys
So
later.
welcome to the Only Friends podcast. It's good to have everybody here. We're going to.
Are you our host? Are you our host, Brian
I just want to
Lamanna?
let people know we're gonna touch on a little topic about cancer, and then the rest of the show is going to be how the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl this year.
This has been the tortoise as a lead host.
Oh, no.
Did you guys? I mean, it's
How about those
preseason, but I mean,
How about them birds?
Which
just
Bucks?
like
How those Bucks?
the Bucks are winning.
Oh, shit.
How about
Look at
those?
these though. You guys.
Jeez, oh man.
Look
What?
at those insertions.
Why were you glitching?
I don't know because it couldn't handle my
It can't
muscle
handle
mass.
all that power.
Yeah.
Is she glitchy?
We're being ruined.
Is it glitchy?
Being so glitchy.
Are we being DDoSed?
Yeah, perhaps a little bit.
Oh yeah, she's glitchy as fuck.
Oh, no.
Is it like that for real?
For real.
We're down
How
bad
about
right
you,
now.
Matt? Swing your
I
arms,
think I'm
swing your
good.
arms around.
I'm good.
He's
Yo,
fine.
bro's good.
His shit's always fine.
Oh,
he
my
makes,
shot-
he makes sure
Yeah.
his is always
Yep, he always has the
fine.
best camera, the best microphone.
I'm what's known as the hero shot.
Look
She
at that though.
fucking loves it.
Because it usually doesn't look that big, but this lighting is great.
Okay, you get a shoulder pump and get the
good again.
delts. Yeah.
You're good again. The glitch went away.
No, it goes in and out.
Okay,
I need a-
well,
I
whatever.
need a
We'll
pump.
live with it. Jesus Christ. I'm watching like 5 seconds behind. Your arms,
They look great
well, they look a little disproportionate.
because they're so big.
Yes, because they're so big. Not at all because they resemble the reels that you send me.
I like to send you reels that make you question your sexuality.
It doesn't make me question
I sent
anything.
him that guy was like the huge ass, and I thought he'd be like, "Damn, that's hot," but then he was like, "I
said,
can never get
"Ooh."
my legs to look like that."
Yeah,
I mean, Eric came by the house and that motherfucker has some calves on him.
his legs are tree trunks. It's quite ridiculous.
The
to be quite honest.
Berkey house, the Berkey genetic line.
Oh,
Yeah,
alright.
we're all waist down.
You guys
Where
are
is
like
that?
tree trunks, yeah.
He's gone now. He went back home. Big shout out to
man.
my nephew. Shout out to my sister. It's her birthday today. Happy 40th to my
Oh,
sister.
wow.
Oh, happy
Happy
40th,
birthday.
Lish.
Yeah, she's in the woods. Where I would like to spend the rest of my days. We have a big show lined up for everybody today. Obviously, we have the big topic of discussion of Ron Mercer. Rob Mercer.
Ronald Mercer.
Ron Mercer played for the Celtics, maybe? I think.
What? Are you talking about Ron Artest?
No, I'm not.
I was thinking Jordy Mercer.
Don't.
I was thinking Mercer
Just-
College.
Just don't. Mercer College?
Mercer College, yeah.
I thought you meant Mercier's.
Jason Mercier?
No, stop it. It's neither Greg
Greg
Merson nor Jason Mercier.
It's about Mercier.
Okay.
Olivier Bousquet?
Okay.
We could go on for 3 hours like this.
I just tuned that whole thing out. I was like,
That's your loss. The flex.
Why is my shot so white today, Guap?
Because you are.
Because you're in it.
No, it's particularly white. Like,
requested the olive filter.
Man, I miss you guys so much. Welcome back. Episode number, what is this, 360? 360?
y'all can eat a dick.
339.
339.
I will.
360? Where'd you get that from?
I was guessing. So, I feel like it's been
something-
almost a year with you motherfuckers.
Something greatly changed on my shot. I don't know what it is, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Before we actually get to the shits with all the scandals and scams that are going on in the poker community and whatever the hell we're supposed to do about
What
it,
is going on?
a lot.
Who knows?
It's a lot. Okay, it's
is
a
a
lot.
lot.
Let's
You're freaking me out, man.
you know, let's relax. Let's lean into this one. Maybe ease our way in gently with a little bit
gotta
of a
ease in, lube
Hand
it
this-
up.
yeah, lube it up a little bit. Maybe we'll start with a little bit of a hand.
Yes! Love this hand.
We're gonna start with a little Tales from the Bellagio in Bobby's room.
Oh,
That was great.
This hand was great.
It
No, I
was-
don't even mean. I mean the intro to all that. That was good. You
it
did
was
good.
a real Oh, I know what happened. You switched my lights.
I switched your lights?
Don't I usually have one of the small
God,
ones?
he's like so
Bro was literally on his divas. Bro is diva as fuck.
You're making Jeff look fucking.
Oh
Quite
my
some time.
God, you want to be the new media darling.
No, so, look, all I know is that there's a glare on the picture that was never there before, and I'm really whited out. That's all I'm saying.
Landon and I look great.
I just know
Do
my
we?
shot is
Do we
particularly
have to
white.
flex on him?
You guys, your shot looks.
switch it back over to
Yeah,
us.
sure,
Look at this.
His shot looks fantastic.
Perfect. That bridge in the back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Get some
flex.
flexes.
The shot really does
Steelers
look.
right
You know,
there.
if they would have put you and Jeff side by side
that's
with the
the
last
Z-
10
you're-
seconds, he would be picked for Naked and Afraid, and you would be picked for like Barbie.
Jeff who?
What would he play in Barbie?
No, Platt would never. Platt would never stand to be washed out like this either. Okay?
Yeah.
Look,
You know what? I like this Kenergy from you. I do.
I don't know what that means, but anyway,
You are Knuff.
Yeah, you are good enough.
we played a little 100, 200 today.
Cannot.
I can't believe it.
We played a little 100, 200 today. Double the usual stakes.
I like that.
And
Was the buy-in the same? Did everyone buy in for the same amount? Because you're already
Pretty
buying
much.
in like 1,000 big blinds deep.
no, it's weird. When we play a little bit bigger, everybody like their buttholes tighten a little.
Yeah,
Like,
makes sense.
A lot of guys bought in for 30 or
They're
20.
like, oh, now this could all go in.
Oh yeah, you just gotta stack somebody. You gotta stack somebody early. That's really what it comes down
Yeah.
to.
Man,
So,
a question real quick.
Yeah.
Is this seems very like fake action-esque? Where it's like, oh, I got so many chips on the table. I'm willing to play for it all. Looks like it, but like we all know you ain't about it.
yeah, we call Oaken and my buddy Roy Faps.
Fake action pros.
Yeah, well, they're not pros.
Players.
They're players.
Oh, players, right?
let's not discredit Brian Oaken for what he is. I love these guys, man.
Oh my God! Look at us.
Look at us. So
Feels like a Friday night.
So this hand goes down. We have a man in town that I've never played with before. Don't know anything about his game or how he thinks.
Mystery legend.
But he bought in for a lot and seems like he's willing to play for it. So he starts the hand with 40,000. That's an important number. I open under the gun with ace 5 of hearts to 500.
I love H5.
Next player to act, Simon, makes it 2K. And I think it folds back to me. And I have a very clear 4-bet here because we're stupid deep. We're like 900 blinds effective. So I make it 6K.
Man,
And Simon immediately folds, and Oaken goes, "If you can show me no pair here," implying that I never bluff.
Right.
And so I rip over the 5 of hearts. And they go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. He still has a hand."
you're like, hold on, player.
No.
And I look up, and the cutoff had cold called our friendly visitor from town.
So Brian fucked you.
Oh, he always fucks me. It's his sole position in the game to just find
Genuine
ways to-
question. Do you think he knew that this guy cold called?
100% he knew the guy cold called.
And
100%.
wanted you to try to flip a
Wow,
card?
that's-
No,
fucked up.
he walked it back and he was like, "I didn't tell him to turn it over." It's like, well, yeah, you did, but
What does he mean? What do you mean?
regardless, it doesn't matter. I obviously should be paying attention to know
Right.
that the guy cold called, so that doesn't really make a difference.
Sure.
But the other thing that it signaled is that the cutoff was in a folding motion. So Oaken had already seen that he was going to fold when he said that.
Ooh, see, live reads.
Yes. And I kind of caught this, like, as I glance up and realize he still has chips in front of him, the cards are like kind of being pulled back.
You're literally in the Matrix right now.
I was
on
seeing
the blockchain.
zeros and ones. That was it.
Stick it in that your solver and smoke it.
Oh, that's right. So big shout out to the out of town visitor, because I know that he's probably watching this, and I'm very sorry for what happened here thereafter. It was a series of unfortunate events for him, for sure.
course.
It don't look good, cuz.
Well, so now I have a 5 showing, and he's like, "I don't really know what to do. This seems very unfair." I was like, "You can literally do whatever you want." Meaning, like, if you jam, I'm calling. I was positive I was not folding this hand if he shoved.
Yeah.
There was no shot in hell. It's all going in the middle.
The meta to when you show one card and what goes on after that is so much fun.
Well, yeah, but usually there's like no streets left to play.
Yeah, that's,
You also have a good hand. I mean, you have an ace. You're suited. You can make a wheel.
Okay, so he decides to just
I
call.
like what you're talking, Brian.
He decides to just call, which is an interesting choice whenever you see a 5, because it does kind of play on me a little bit of like, oh, this motherfucker's trapping me.
No, it's kind of. I think it's kind of nice.
Well,
maybe?
yeah, I mean, you should probably call with most
You call range.
I don't know, man.
If I see that you
might just,
I know you're half of your cards.
Yeah, so click. What am I gonna do when
Jam?
you're making 3K more? I'm not gonna jam.
Yeah, you might.
I might jam.
What are they gonna call you with a 5?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, he calls. Board comes very favorably.
He said, "Let's play a pot."
We catch the 9-7-4 2 club 1 heart board.
Yeah.
So I flop backdoors. But most importantly, if I have 5-6 of hearts, I'm open ended.
Yep.
And that's all that's going through my head is that I can rep ace 5 of hearts and 5-6 of hearts.
What the? Oh yeah.
Those are the only 2 hands I could ever possibly have here.
Holy shit! This is so much
So
fun.
weird. It's so weird.
So fun.
So I check. There's 14-5 in the pot.
Yeah, you can't bet.
I can't bet. I have nothing. It's clear I have nothing.
You're not allowed to bet anymore.
I check. There's 14-5 in the pot.
Oh my God.
He bets $5,000. Third pot. And I'm like, this is pretty good. Like, if you're milking me, this is really fucking good. But I'm not folding. So I peel, which is probably pretty bad. But I was like, if a 3 of hearts or the 7 of hearts, or sorry, the 8 of hearts peels off, I'm fucking getting it in. Yeah. I might just like open jam.
There's very specific things that you kind of want to do just for the memes, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit for the memes, a little bit because like I could still have the best hand here every now and again. I mean, let's not forget he was probably folding pre. So like, you know, I don't know what that cold call range fold to a 4-bet looks like.
So Simon instantly folds and Brian said what he said, which means that he was going to snap fold also.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I kind of...
It's not like he had a pair or anything like that.
Correct.
Like a pocket or anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So like, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, worst case scenario, he has ace jack.
Yeah. And even that doesn't snap fold for this guy.
But like maybe he has queen jack or king jack type
maybe
of
he
hands.
does. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
And I'm beating those.
So
I peel, turn, 10 of hearts. So now it's 9-7-4.
I like how Brian and I both made the same sound. We both went,
Don't like that card.
2 hearts, 2 clubs. Well, I think the 10 is fine.
You can make a flush.
It's a heart.
Yeah, it's a heart, and we're only losing like Jack 10 now.
You live as fuck.
Jack 10, Queen 10.
Those are hands that I would think
So I
call.
check, but maybe I shouldn't check. Maybe I should rip here. I'm not sure. The thing is that like my best hand, if I shove,
Rip would be weird.
is like pretending that I have 5s.
Yeah. Like literally, you only have 5s.
But
Or 5s.
ripping means that like I never get bluffed. So there's that element to it.
Yeah.
But I think I should want to try to get bluffed and just put myself in the spot.
I mean,
which is what I did.
what do we feel in this magical mystery scenario?
Yeah.
What do you do with you, like, if you're the one that's
In his spot?
Yeah. How do you play flop? Do you just?
I think I would just like 3E, or I would just like bet jam.
Yeah.
Right, because like it's relatively smallish.
You have a suited hand, so when the 10 of hearts comes, like you probably just jam.
I don't think
Deny.
No, I don't think. I mean, maybe, but the thing is that like then your value like just gets fucked. You
Does
know?
it?
Yeah, like say he doesn't in this scenario, but say he has 2 jacks, or say he has ace 10, a hand that has me drawing nearly dead.
Yeah.
Right? You don't really want to jam.
Right.
You just want to charge my ass because you know I'll pay a price.
Yeah.
I'll pay something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Then when a heart comes, this guy just folds range.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe jam is good. Honestly, like I went back and forth on it, and I realized that like I was just so biased by what I perceived to be weakness pre that I kind of fell into
Like it's a good
hero
bias.
play. Yeah, in this instance, but like I tried to play the game of like what if, or like what's theoretically sound here. Jamming's probably just fine.
Imagine thinking about what's theoretically sound when you're playing a hand with a 5 of hearts. What does the machine have to say? They fucking consult D-Nags. He'll get me a sim for it.
Well, see, that's the thing, Landon. This is what you have to understand. Game theory isn't about the sims.
Right.
Game theory is about the mechanics through which the rules of the game operate towards an equilibrium. So the exposed card doesn't change the equilibrium.
Doesn't mean there's no such thing as game theory anymore.
Right, it just changes the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, game theory doesn't only just apply to poker.
Right, correct. So do
people at poker think that? No way.
I think you think that the way you just replied to me.
You put
See,
that
the
one
thing
on
is
yourself.
that he
You
can,
know you're fucking with me because I know what war games are, buddy.
but he also just like completely
Buddy.
tuned me out when I,
I know what
replied.
war games are. I know what war games are, buddy.
That's rich coming from you.
I'm not
Yeah.
your buddy friend.
Yeah. Listen here, Buster.
So I check.
Y'all really white.
He has 31.5.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him in the shot.
I am very white.
And he ain't olive for shit.
I'm very white. I check. He has 31.5. There is 24 and change in the middle, and he jams it.
Yep.
And I, my initial instinct was like, you should just fold and not embarrass yourself. But I don't have that in me.
Nah.
And obviously Oaken's just like making fun of me the whole time because in his mind, this is just like such an auto fold. But he's sitting there laughing going, Berkey just can't fold. His fold button's broken. He's showing a card and he can't fold.
This guy's deal. Like, he just talks in the middle of hands.
Yeah,
He's
this is
like
what-
inducing action.
This is
He's
what
like
fake
having
action
to show
pros
his.
do.
I mean, yeah, but it's annoying. Like, let me play the hand. That would piss me off.
Oh man, we have incredible banter. It just never ends.
Classic broken.
It's so hilarious because
Where's the
like
fucking etiquette?
he and Roy will just like belabor the point that I don't fold versus like certain bets, whether they're like smallish sizes or
not.
They're like, you will talk yourself into anything. Like every time that I call and lose, I have like top pair, top kicker where I just don't think it was good, but whatever, have to YOLO call. And they just harp on the fact that like I just don't fold all that often, which to be fair, I don't. But hey, that's the nature of the game. There's a fucking pot out there to fight for,
You don't win by folding.
That's right. So I tank it off.
At least you don't win the pot. You do win
Yeah.
in theory.
So I think about it and I'm like, okay, well, I think a lot of the time I have 12 live outs. He probably is just shoving a hand for protection that's either like one pair where my ace is live or a dominating hand where my 5 is live. And then, my hearts are obviously live. So I probably have 12 outs. And then I start thinking a little bit deeper. Like it's like the Micros episode where he sees Durr in the reflection
merge
in the
is
mirror.
alive.
And he goes, think deeper.
You must go deeper.
The merge is alive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. What if he has Queen Jack of Hearts?
Yeah.
There is no triple range merge.
There is no triple mange merge.
That was almost that.
What if he has,
Triple,
I was like,
triple minge merge.
Relax.
like, what if he has King Jack for a double gutty? I have to call here. And I go, call. And he goes,
Wait, so he jammed how much and how much?
31 into 24.
Okay.
Or 31.5 into 24.5. And I'm like,
You're like River Me Hot dealer.
twice? He's like, yeah, twice. I'm like, okay. And the first one comes 10 of spades. I'm like, well, that just can't be great for me.
Yeah.
And then the second one comes 5 of clubs. And I'm like, I might have sucked out on something.
Yeah. Ace King not happy.
And he just goes,
Of course.
you're good.
The show goes on,
Isn't
baby.
that like that's the greatest?
Blowing
Like,
everyone's ears out. You gotta move the mic away from
the
him.
sick thing is like I think I'm pretty sure at least I would have folded 6-5 of hearts. Although I probably would have just check jammed it on the flop to ensure that I didn't have to get put to this decision later.
Yeah, it's probably good.
I think I check jammed 6-5 of hearts on the flop, which means I literally only have ace-5 of hearts when I get to the turn.
Oh my
I guess I
God.
could have like king-5 of hearts sometimes.
you put your hand for max value.
But
Wait
yeah,
a minute. Interesting. Wow.
yeah, I'm pretty out on a
Interesting.
limb here.
You're fucked. No,
I'm
no,
pretty fucked.
You're fucked.
Yeah, I think
You
so
actually
too.
have a range of one hand.
One hand, yeah.
One hand.
So he like just
My
shakes his
hand.
hand and he goes, "You're good." And I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And
I mean, he
goes,
has to know what you have, right?
I don't know.
I mean, either way,
It just didn't matter because he had queen 8 offsuit.
Yeah.
Queen 8
Well, no,
off.
no. I mean,
heart, no club or no. Yeah,
You guys chop if you have fucking 6-5.
yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I guess
You
when
would have rivered him
I guess
in the
when I
second
river
one,
the 5, it's tough for him to ever scoop.
but you would have jammed it on him on flop, and he would have folded
Yeah, that's true too.
because you're not gonna call.
So anyway, I won a $95,000 pot or an $85,000 pot
Hey,
with one card exposed.
wait, do you jam 6-5?
Doesn't matter. Like, can we just revel in the glory
Yes.
of?
We don't have to get into the weeds,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. Like, let's not put everyone to sleep with the weeds.
I'm just saying
What would Mike Manisau do?
the game is good.
What would
The
Manisau
game-
do?
It doesn't matter.
He would
That's-
have
that's a topic for
checked
tomorrow.
river.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay.
He would have folded pre after the guy saw his card.
Oh my god.
Good point.
No, right, nice hand, Burke.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So you won today?
I had a good day today. Yeah. Thank you for asking, Conrad. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great day.
We had a good day. This fucking Leach, man. I'm so sick of this kid.
Today was a good day.
I can't.
That message had me dying.
That was really. We should have screenshotted that for this episode. That was a funny conversation.
Fucking dying when I read that shit.
I agreed with you.
He's dying because like I'm making fun of Landon, and then Conrad immediately jumps in the chat.
The fuck you talking about, tab boy?
Go hit him with a straight right out of nowhere.
I was on one this morning. I wasn't fucking
Sorry
here.
about that too.
Oh, goddamn fucking leeches around here.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. When you're on one more, you win. Like when we had it back and forth about like you playing pots, and then you win.
I was already way up by the time that started, but
Was it really?
He's just trying to take credit so he
I
doesn't
know.
seem like a leech.
Yeah. He just wants
You know
to earn
when
that
we
5 ball.
have conversations, you win.
I mean, I'm just saying, when I have 5% of you, you win.
Melissa, when I have action, you win.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
And then you win other times.
No.
Yeah, but I prefer to have that just in case.
Right.
Because when I
Right.
don't win and the piece isn't on, then I'm like, ugh, it's because of the piece. Because my brain is broken. So I'm super
This is what he does.
Now that's a horse that I was.
Yeah.
No, but I said that every month, Connor and I had this conversation at boy dinner. We went to Chapanero to get some food, but I said we should all do more things together, like as a group. You know, like every month or something, we go get food. And I was like, you know what? I'll pay for it with the money you win me.
Sure. I'll tell you
we
what.
can go to dinner.
Yeah, if you were,
You know what?
You're part of boy dinner
Pod
now.
dinner.
What the heck? I'm not. Did you see my arms?
She
Yeah.
definitely has higher testosterone than all of us.
Yeah.
Combined.
It's been tough.
Yeah, now flex.
Easily. I didn't want to scare you guys, so I put my
So put
jacket
them
on.
away. We appreciate
Boy,
that.
I think there's another yellowtail
dinner.
collar. I think there's another yellowtail
Why are
collar
you blowing
waiting
up what
for
it
us.
is? Why are you blowing up?
I
You're the
can't
one that's
hear
talking about the place.
yellowtail collar again. Like it's like he
It's
said it
so
like minimum 15 times since you
fucking-
He
guys
said it
had
15 times before you got
Good.
here.
You have no idea. I've been
Yellowtail
talking about it
collar,
ever since
yellowtail
you've had it.
collar.
Did he really?
That's all
Yeah,
I want.
he's got an ambassadorship from Yellowtail Collar.
It's so fucking good, guys.
All right. Well, you take the reins of
Pod dinner.
of
Pod dinner. You have
organizing.
to sing it. Pod dinner. Sing it if you're not going to pod dinner.
Landon without sleep is a different kind of beast.
I have 2.5 hours.
What the fuck did you do last night?
Too much.
Yeah, what did you do last
I
night?
know
Wow. Oh.
Did he go?
I know what he did.
Did
Don't
he?
do it. No. He,
Oh my! Here
What the
we
hell's
go.
going on
he
this
sta-
week?
He stayed up too late.
It truly is a really entertaining conversation that I wish I could share just because of how
cannot.
fucking
Why
out of
didn't you tell me?
No, he didn't do anything like noteworthy, but he was so out of pocket with what he was texting me this morning that I wish I could share it.
I'm rolling out of the pocket these days.
Dude's fucking horny on Maine. I can't take it.
I'm not
anymore.
horny on Maine. You just made me horny on Maine.
Oh my god!
Thanks.
He made you horny?
No, idiot.
On Maine?
Idiot.
Kind of sounds like that's what you said.
No, you remember like last week when you fucking bitch. Remember last week and I said, oh, like don't bring that up, you know, like don't do this to me. He goes, oh, I wasn't trying to do anything.
I wasn't.
I wasn't trying to do anything.
I wasn't trying to do
Yeah,
anything.
when you have your fucking head outside of your own fucking shot laughing.
Oh man. Well,
Idiots.
You just feed into it,
Fucking
man.
bitch.
Yeah. It's fine. I'll get a fucking edible arrangements delivered to your fucking to your door. Your cut is not starting
Do
today.
crumble. That'll really
Yeah.
get.
Oh, you know, let's read the menu. Actually,
There's
that's a
a
good
fri-
idea.
there's a fridge full of
No.
chocolate
Shut
I
your
haven't
fucking
touched.
mouth. Let's look at the crumble menu this week.
Because he misspoke and said you make him horny, then he got
Right.
mad.
Now he's gonna shower me with gifts.
What a guy.
Yeah.
I gotta tell
Welcome to
you,
your
Landon.
future, buddy.
I gotta tell you, Landon, if this is how you treat the ladies, they're being treated very, very well.
Yeah, they do.
You made me horny.
You're right. No, you got me. I didn't mean this.
What were you trying to say?
I was saying that I wasn't horny on Maine until he.
Oh,
put him
until
on
he
blast.
exposed you.
Yeah, I
You
put him on blast.
exposed
Like
me
you
as-
made me horny on Maine.
Right.
You didn't let me
Yeah.
finish the
phrase-
sentence.
yeah, but even
Yeah,
with the
because what happened
main.
is I said the
Oh,
sentence,
man.
and then you gotta go, whoa.
What?
Yeah, because you wouldn't let me
Yeah, but
finish.
even when you finish it, it still sounds like that.
Yeah.
Guapo,
it's
make
okay.
sure to cut that out.
You're not the only one.
Yeah,
who
like
did.
that
It's
would
okay.
be
Not cut it out,
Yeah,
but
no, it just
cut
won't
a
be. It
clip
won't be
of
a
it.
clip that's gonna be used like
Yeah,
tonight or like
for sure.
tomorrow or
Yeah.
like next week.
Probably
But
both.
no, semi-sweet chocolate chunk. Ooh, you like those? Chocolate cake.
Oh, he definitely
That
likes
sounds good.
chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the chocolate cake.
They have a cinnamon toast crunch cookie.
Oh my god.
This happens sitting
that
at the house
sounds
when we get back.
Man, we need to get sponsored by Crumble. Man, you're full of good ideas today.
I know.
Holy shit.
All right, let's show on the desserts and let's get to the main course, if you will.
For you, it's dessert.
A lot of.
Oh my god. He's gonna keep trying to jab you into.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
This is too good.
This sounds like you want Berkey to be your dessert.
No,
He makes you horny on me.
no, we don't.
Oh, man.
This fucking exposer.
Well, maybe it'll get served with a side of tea. So this weekend there was
Fuck
a
you.
bombshell that dropped in the Twitter sphere, where a scandal was sort of exposed, I would say. Jesus
you.
Christ!
All right.
Yeah, how do we pivot to this fucking story?
Well, you mute Landon's mic.
trying
That's
to.
it. Snoop Dogg, who was originally the one who I guess like introduced the poker world to Rob Mercer, kind of came out and said like, I hope this isn't true, but all signs point to Rob having kind of scammed the community and made off with the money. So allegedly, what we've learned in the time since then is that roughly 30 to 40,000 was accrued through private measures as well as the GoFundMe. I think a lot of that was kind of, I don't want to say amplified, but basically like a lot of it came from the HCL community. I know like there was a private group that gave him like access to the Bellagio suite as well as 15,000. I was asked not to share names, so like I'll keep it private, even though I think that it's kind of out there. And then whatever he got from the GoFundMe, the idea was that Rob Mercer was terminally ill, and his lifelong dream was to play the WSOP main event. So they were trying to raise travel funds, a 10K buy-in, etc. And Bertucci, like very generously, went out of his way to kind of put on a fundraiser, said he would commit to whatever wasn't raised, and to ensure that Mercer was able to play the event. I think there was a Poker Flops video that does a pretty good job breaking it down, all the way back to, I think it was like June 4th or something like that. If you got that one, Guap.
Usually these videos I make cover the latest drama-filled story the poker world has to offer. This one will be a different kind of story. Let me introduce you to Rob Mercer. I first became aware of Rob and his story. I saw Nick Bertucci, co-owner of Hustler Casino Live, post a video of his own on Twitter. It was a raw video of Nick sharing Rob's story and getting a bit choked up. Later on in the day, I saw Ace Poker make a video of his own where he also shared Rob's story. So today, I'm going to do what I can to spread some awareness as well. Rob Mercer is a 37-year-old semi-professional poker player. In his words, a small stakes grinder. It's been a lifetime dream of his to enter the World Series of Poker main event, a dream that most of us, if not all of us in poker, share. Unfortunately, in August of last year, Rob was diagnosed with a terminal form of cancer. He was given anywhere between 6 and 18 months to live, depending on how rapid it progressed. Again, in Rob's own words, he says, "I've been fighting hard for months now, and my body is definitely doing its best, but I can feel the sickness draining on me physically and mentally." Rob now spends most of his days resting in bed, although a few weeks ago, when the WSOP was starting up, he and his father took a week-long trip to Vegas to play some poker, and Rob managed to cash in 3 different events. He said the experience shot some life back into him. After returning home, he came to the realization that if he didn't at least try to play in the WSOP main this year, it would haunt him forever. So he decided to start a GoFundMe with a goal of $12,000. $10K to cover the entry, and $2,000 to cover travel, stay, and food. Currently, just under $4,200 has been raised for Rob, and the incredibly generous Nick Bertucci has pledged to cover whatever remains to ensure Rob gets to live out his dream of playing in the World Series of Poker main event. I've left a link for the GoFundMe in the comments below wherever you're watching this video. It's pretty awesome to see the poker community, which is usually filled with drama, come together to support a single cause. Best of luck on the felt, Rob.
All right, so where did this all go wrong? This should be, basically a feel-good story of how somebody who is in their last days of suffering got to fulfill a lifelong dream of getting to play in the main event. We've seen this story play out in the past. I believe it was 2015, perhaps 15 or 14. There was somebody who was terminally ill who actually ended up making a deep run in the main event. Passed, unfortunately, shortly thereafter, maybe 3 or 4 months thereafter the fact. And the main event seems to be like one of those bucket list items that kind of draws in this sort of crowd support for somebody who's, in an unfortunate stage in their life.
Yeah, at least in poker it should be, right? Like it's like the biggest tournament of the year versus like people dream to play the main.
Yeah, I mean, It's different because you get to participate, right? So it's not the same as like being a lifelong NFL fan and getting tickets to the Super Bowl, right? Like you actually get to come and play and compete and maybe meet.
You actually get to win $12 million maybe.
Yeah, which, you know, as far as like leaving behind some sort of legacy, that would probably be pretty important to some.
Pretty sick.
So, I mean, you know, all things considered, it's like you can't really find fault in people having some level of empathy, having some level of generosity. Oh, no. My light just went out.
Yeah, maybe because you're fucking with it the whole time that video was playing. Trying to make yourself look sexy for whoever's in the chat. I don't know who you're trying to attract.
Well. If it
Landon, obviously.
You don't got to keep the light on for that, buddy.
Oh,
Okay, back to the subject at hand. Jesus. Essentially, what we saw is that's gonna be too bright for sure.
Oh my god.
This guy, he's unbelievable.
He's literally like the biggest diva.
He's literally the biggest diva I've ever seen.
You're so vain.
It's the same brightness that he just told me to turn
is
down.
About you.
Yeah.
It'll look good. It's gonna look great, Guapo. I have a feeling for it. Okay, so essentially,
Look good.
Thank you, appreciate that. So essentially, what ends up happening is from there, the story picks up in that all these arrangements were made, and I only know this obviously secondhandedly from people that I've spoken to, as well as hearing Vertucci on a couple spaces. But I guess like the next step in this was Rob came to Vegas with his dad. They were supposed to stay at the Bellagio suite, and something happened like on the first night or something along those lines where either they had a standard room or something wasn't up to their liking.
I heard that they came a day or two early, I believe.
Okay.
And
that would make sense.
Then they got a standard room or something.
Right. And then they stayed a couple days past their...
Without telling it.
Right, without telling the person who was comping them the suite. So from my understanding...
Where do these people get off?
Well, I mean, if you're going
to...
depending on the light, yeah.
You know, if you're going to allegedly grift, you might as well maximize, you know?
It's
true.
It's like Anna Delvey.
Yeah. So while all this was taking place, I guess like some red flags had kind of cropped up. There was the chaos whenever they first got here a little bit early, where they weren't satisfied with the room. There was the fact that they stayed a little bit late. There were a couple other details that had leaked out where I guess he was like on Twitter bragging about telling a porn star that he was terminally ill, and then, you know, getting a courtesy bang of some sort.
Yeah, something weird.
This
something
guy
along
is
those
a real
lines.
piece.
Yeah, he said that, like, yeah.
This guy is allegedly a real piece of shit.
Yeah, porn star or something was hitting on him and wanted to have sex with him or something. But yeah. That's when people were like, okay, wait a second.
Right.
Like, imagine being such a fucking lowlife that you have to lie about having cancer in order to get laid and have money.
And paid.
Mm-hmm. Well, the porn star thing was probably all bullshit too.
You don't think he fucked the porn star?
No.
That does seem like something to be
honestly,
fabricated.
I think he just made that story up.
She was probably she couldn't help herself when she saw him.
That's true.
I mean, he is a
show
beautiful drink of water. So there were other things going on.
Monday at 6:30 p.m.
There were other things going on. You know, this had now taken place over the course of a few months. He was still like, you know, 240 plus pounds. Like basically his physical demeanor wasn't changing at all. And there was like some real anger problems that I guess took place during the WSOP. I had heard rumors that he was in like a friendly home game and demanded to be paid out of a sit and go that he like chopped or won for like $400. Like he immediately wanted to be paid, which kind of indicates that, you know, money is an issue. He also, unfortunately, Cody, who actually is terminal, the Make-A-Wish guy that MJ put into Poker Night in America as well as the main event, he talked him into a main event swap, and I guess he like followed him to the cage when Cody cashed.
So it was actually what I heard was that he was so upset about busting that he
it wasn't even a real
did this whole sob story
had
to Cody, and then Cody offered him
just a free roll.
Yeah, just a piece.
Yeah, he had already busted.
Okay,
or didn't play it.
That's even worse.
I mean, if this is true, this is like a truly disgusting person.
I wonder, and I'm speculating obviously at this point, I haven't heard anything about this, but I wonder what the likelihood is that he didn't even play the main.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I think there's pictures or something.
Okay.
You're saying take the money and then not even buy in.
Yeah, but I mean, well,
I don't know what
there were rumors that he also
he busted quick right before dinner break.
Right. Well, so there were rumors that he may have oversold because he was gifted a bunch of money privately. He was raising money on the GoFundMe, and then I guess he also put action up on Stake Kings. So there's a potential that he did play, but he just oversold, and hence the fast bust and the guilty free roll, et cetera, et cetera.
That seems strange too. That like you this is like your dying wish, and then like you get put in, and then you sell it all off.
Yeah,
like you sell a bunch of pieces off. Like, why would you do that? Like,
well, I mean, his plan was just to exit after he did this whole thing. So I guess he just doesn't care how sloppy he is.
In hindsight, there's some red flags.
Right.
There's potentially some warning signs, if you will. So I guess the whole thing, culminated in him eventually leaving Vegas in a huff, where at this point questions were being asked, and I think, from what I understand, having spoken with him and a few others, I think Snoop Dogg felt like a sense of responsibility to kind of get answers. And to set the framework of all this, the entire Rob Mercer has cancer, let's support him type of thing happened at a time where we were right on the tail end of the Jami Lafay kind of witch hunt disproving or attempting to disprove her medical claims, as well as the insertion of Cody into the poker sphere as well. Mm-hmm. So this is a pretty opportune time.
Cancer GoFundMe,
right?
Like boom.
Well, yeah, didn't Rob? He went in and was he critical of her, or is he?
So I was on the original space. I remember this. I was on the original space where he jumped on, and he basically came in and. Yes, he was hypercritical of her by saying, I actually have cancer.
Right, I haven't. I'm dying, like and I'm not asking for anything.
Yeah.
Correct.
He's like, there's people like me who are losing their lives who would love this opportunity. Right. And then everyone kind of jumped on that because they were mad at Jami.
Right. Pretty sharp.
Very sharp social engineering by him.
Very finger on the pulse of like what's going on. Yeah, of course. But I mean, it's very opportunistic too, right? Yeah. Like anybody who was paying any attention to social media at that time knew that the poker community was a house divided.
Yeah, and also like whenever people are so like in their feelings about something, like they're gonna have blind spots. You're just gonna have blind spots to getting manipulated when you're acting out of pure emotion.
Right.
So like I think. He probably saw that was what was going on and just dove in, was like, I'll be your champion.
Yes, of course. Because if you look at the two timelines between him and Jami, Jami's progression was there was a weird dark time where she basically, said some like dark things on the internet and then disappeared. And everybody was worried about her. I don't know if you remember, but like Vertucci was attempting to get a hold of her. Like basically everybody who was within her social circle was like reaching out, trying to get a hold of her. And it was like a weekish, maybe 2, where she was just gone. And then shortly thereafter, she came back and basically said like, she had this cancer diagnosis and that the medical bills were going to be very extreme, and yada, yada, yada.
And sort of not, I mean, it's related, but there was a viral video. There was a video that went viral in early February before her cancer GoFundMe of a famous TikToker who did the same thing. So I don't know if there's something in the stars. Everyone's making GoFundMes about cancer.
This is nothing new. I mean, as somebody who's been online dating for a decade and a half, every single catfish. I got catfish. The very first girl that catfished me when I was like 23.
Star.
Yeah.
That's
she had cancer.
For someone who watches a lot of Catfish the show knows that's what they do.
Because it's such a sympathy thing that people don't want to call out.
Right. It's always on like when the person who thinks they're being catfished is telling Neve, the host of the show, like, hey, so they have cancer, and I sent them. They're like, oh, there you go, there it is. We know they're catfish now because they've heard that story a million times.
And also, like the other thing is, like he said he had stage 4 cancer, and like I've seen stage 4 cancer, and like you're not gallivanting around Vegas, like posting that you're living the high life, and like your organs are shutting down.
I mean, you could. I'm sure there are periods where you might feel good enough to
some people decline very quickly. Some people were able to stave it off and then just like a rapid drop, but still there's some physical tells there, I would say. What I want to make clear before we go any further with these details, because I think it is worth laying out the timeline of Jami's prognosis as well. I don't know if Jami's a grifter. I don't know if Rob is a grifter. And quite frankly, I don't care that much. Mm-hmm. If you look at both of these timelines, you'll notice that any big public figurehead in the space largely was hands off of both.
Yeah.
And it's simple. It's because we don't really need to police these types of fundraisers the way that people assume that you do. Like, whenever somebody out of the blue starts posting for like basically panhandling for money, whether it comes with a sob story or not, this community is really fucking sharp. Like, will people get got? Of course. Will they get got to the tune of 6 figures? Almost certainly not.
Like, I've seen this. So I used to go on like, okay, don't make fun of me. I used to go on like astrology Twitter a lot.
Okay.
And this was actually a really common thing there, because if you could believe it, a lot of like people who do astrology readings are like kind of broke.
No.
I know. It's like shocking. But
I'm shocked.
But so a lot of them will post like these big long sob story GoFundMes, and everyone's retweeting it. Poker is, like, I have noticed, is a lot sharper than the astrology community. Is that shocking to you?
No, not a little bit, but not terribly.
Surprisingly, no.
So like you don't see as much like. It's more like fanatical, where they're like, oh, like, how dare you, like, this person needs surgery, you know, and it's kind of, but poker is a little more critical, I in my
like, look, as somebody who sat on the sidelines for both of these situations, I had my doubts in both scenarios, as one should whenever this type of stuff crops up out of the blue, right? So it's kind of a do your own due diligence type of scenario. And, you know, I harp on things like markup, where I say we should be educating the public from getting fleeced for like unbeatable amounts. But that's because I think that in those instances, you're able to leverage social engineering due to a huge platform. Mm-hmm. If it were a huge platform running this grift, or potentially running this grift, then I think all the scrutiny in the world should be there. Like, if, you know, not that he ever would, but like if Dean Eggs out of the blue puts up a GoFundMe for a recent cancer diagnosis, I think we have a right to question this, right? Because
I mean, that would just be so bizarre.
It's bizarre, and also his leverage is massive, right? Like, his reach is so huge. It's like the Jake Paul potential scandal where he scammed everybody. Like, these people have to be held to a high degree of scrutiny because their platform is worth so much. And it can actually be leveraged in a way that not only profiteers for them, but takes massive advantage of the community at large. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, I beat the drum for security. I beat the drum for markup whenever it's, you know, people who, by all accounts, we don't think should have to sell or aren't beating what they're beating it for, and they have a huge reach type of thing. But something like this, like Jami, Rob, they were never going to get any amplification without people turning eyeballs to them.
They were never going to be like mainstream or anything with this. Right.
Like, no shot either of them fulfill a 50K GoFundMe without some big name grabbing a hold of it and saying, like, I vouch.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think the discussion point comes in here, because what we saw was a large kind of distancing. That's a very polite way of putting it. What we saw was a large condemning of Jami. And
maybe perhaps a public outcry.
Yes, it was very much a teardown of Jami, and very much a subtle vouching system taking place for Rob.
I mean, I don't really think it was very subtle. I saw a lot of people retweeting and just like saying, like, this guy really does have cancer, like, this is who you should be giving money to. It's like, maybe we just like shouldn't be giving money to like anyone.
The thing is,
I'm sorry, like, if you have cancer, but it's like, like,
directed to Melissa Schubert's PayPal.
I would say the same thing happened.
Don't give it to me either. Just don't give it to anyone.
You shouldn't blindly.
Keep it. In this economy, keep your money. My God.
This economy? I would say the same thing happened with Jami, though, just in the opposite direction. Like, one or two people grab a hold of the narrative that she's grifting, and now that becomes the popular narrative, which gets shared and reshared and reshared. Right? Like, let's be clear.
It's all about narrative.
It's easy to grab the hold of the narrative.
Both of these stories got amplified massively, and almost nobody did due diligence, at least on the Rob side. There was a lot of pushing and pressing Jami for receipts. We didn't really see that from the Rob side, and everybody's kind of doubling all the way back to the beginning, saying that, like, when he first came into that space, one single member of the community vouched and said that they saw proof that he has cancer. But like that seems like, especially, you know, I don't want to particularly paint this as being on anybody, because I truly don't think it's anybody's fault. I think that like this type of stuff just happens, especially in a tight-knit community where we are in this. I think in both instances, the objective behind both of these campaigns getting amplified for what they were was to spread awareness amongst the community. One being bad, one being good. Now, the issue here is that a lot of due diligence was attempted, at least, when people were calling Jami a grifter. And even still, when it was all said and done, I don't think that there's any hard-clad proof that she's running some sort of long con here, right? That's not saying she's not.
Well,
I'm just saying.
People asked even like before. I think the people asked sort of like immediately, but I think just the order of events kind of made it so people were already like so emotionally against Jami that they just wanted someone else like to direct. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's totally fine. Like I think it's okay to question these types of things and you know, whatever. Like I wouldn't want to be in Jami's shoes, for better or for worse, and I wouldn't want to be in Rob's shoes either, even though, like, you know, he's obviously on a better side of it. The whole thing I'm trying to get at is that I think that there's a certain sense of responsibility that we all carry whenever we want to be the mouthpiece of something. And for better or worse, whether they deserve it or not, it's really hard not to shine your attention on all of the people who were so critical of Jami that did nothing or amplified positively for Rob, right? So like when we look at the Todds, the Slays, you know, whoever else in that camp of Jami is a grifter and like yada yada yada, and then the secondary instance presents itself, and they take this cover of like now after the fact saying like, I knew the guy was full of shit, I never donated to him, I had my suspicions, but you guys bullied me into silence. It's like, both of these men are very outspoken on every issue that they have, that they hold near and dear to themselves. And they were so passionate about proving that Jami was grifting. I can't for the life of me see a parallel where they would have the same suspicions of Rob and not want to get that information out public. And again, like, that's they don't have to. It's not their responsibility to. They're not the town criers. You know, they don't hold that. But when you take pride in this type of thing, and when you lead with being the voice of reason and the I told you so guy, like, you know, there's going to be some negative fallout, especially in this weird, like, male-driven community where, unfortunately, whether it's happenstance or intentional, it's a woman who's being criticized for, you know, trying to run a medical campaign, and a dude who gets away with it.
I don't know if we can call it a medical campaign.
Well, a fundraising campaign. A fundraising campaign. Whatever. But then it's like a dude who just like gets away scot-free, right? Like this guy's going to face zero backlash. Yeah. To the point where I
hope, because I'll tell you, with that one woman who, the TikToker who ended up scamming, she did go to jail. So I hope, I mean, we don't know. There could be repercussions. Maybe someone finds him. It's not like his full name's out there, you know?
Yeah.
There has to be some.
And he made a GoFundMe. Yeah, it's illegal to make a illegitimate GoFundMe. So it's like not like he's free from repercussions.
Apparently this guy Rob replied.
To what?
To everything. And
what do you mean? Replied where?
He wrote a big long message that Snoop Dogg just sent.
Just
Snoop
now?
Dogg. Looks like he sent it. I'm not sure when he sent it, but I just put it in our chat.
Okay.
Basically, he's just defending himself, saying that he does have cancer, and I don't know.
Because he was silent for a while, right? And then his social media got deleted.
Apparently, when it first came out, when Snoop immediately asked him, he deleted it. So.
All right. Well, that's.
Where I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I sent it to Guapa.
Okay.
My bad.
Why did he delete his Twitter though?
Oh, that's a long ass message.
Yeah.
This guy ever heard of a paragraph?
I mean, I'll read it if you send it to me. But
I'm sending it to you right now. I was gonna read it, but you know, I'm gonna spare. I'm gonna spare everybody today. Let my sidekick do the dirty work.
We all appreciate that, sir.
I just sent it to the group.
Okay. This is quite the thread. Okay. Here is as posted from Snoop Dogg. He said, "This is Rob Mercer's reply today. Honestly, it's disgusting how everyone is calling me a scammer after everything. First and foremost, I'm not a scammer. I do have cancer, and I'm telling you the true story of what happened, and you can do with it as you seem, because I genuinely think you care about me and want to help. I got diagnosed last July. On that day, I walked out of the doctor's office with zero paperwork and zero talking to my cancer doctor outside of him wishing me well, and I said I'm not doing any treatments, and I will fight this on my own." Man, this is like Sean Deeb level of grammar. From that day, I haven't talked to that doctor, and I lost my insurance. I lost my insurance they gave me across to that doctor because I couldn't work anymore. So I had to get on state insurance, and they gave me a generic general practitioner who... All right. You don't get a general practitioner for a cancer diagnosis.
Like, this is fucking bullshit. Because, like, if you actually had cancer, you wouldn't send this whole explanation. You would just show the proof.
Right.
Should have brought Michelle.
So why are you writing, like, a novel? Like, it's just, like, annoying.
When Ash Kardashian asked for proof, I had no access I had no access to contact my dad, because he's losing his son. After all this shit, I'm disgusted how the people who told me they cared about me and loved me turned on me in the drop of a dime, because I only had a message to my new doctor and instantly I'm a scammer now. That shit isn't right. I told everybody that I was going to be off Twitter and Spaces after the blow-up fight with Nick and argument with Snoop. I can only imagine how they're portraying me now, and you know what? I don't really care, to be honest. I can't play poker anymore, and I won't be part of the community going forward regardless, because I have a lot of time left. I don't have a lot of time left, but I want you to relay this to everybody who turned on me. When I die in the next 2 to 3 months, I want them to remember how they turned on me and let it eat at them for how they did me in my last few months.
Oh, stop reading it. This is pissing me off now.
Hold on.
I appreciate everyone who donated and helped me to live my dream and did it out of the kindness of their hearts and genuinely wanted to help. I'm not coming back on Twitter or social media going forward because I don't have the energy or life left in me to fight off everyone who thinks the worst of me now. End of story. Take care, and please don't message any of my friends going forward. None of them told me about it, but they know I've had cancer since I posted it last September on my Facebook. Take care of yourself. I wish you the best. There was not one period.
that really
awesome. But there was a couple comments in there.
Lots of comments.
Honestly, you should have let Conrad read it, because that's his language. I think he would have been.
No, listen, I looked at it and I started reading, and I was like, what the fuck does this say? Anyway, so apparently somebody also says they have really good info that Rob's dad left the trip 4 to 6 days.
I heard that also.
Yeah, that was
because the dad found out his son was scamming.
Yeah, I heard that also. I heard that was a part of the departure.
I mean, honestly, like, if you only showed me that message that you just read and didn't give me any other details, I'd be like, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah, that read like every
the guilt
single
trip, the fucking rambling, the additional details that didn't need to be there, like all of it was just like just. And then you take your money and get the fuck out, man. Like, you know.
So there was a similar scam that happened. Must have been 2 winters ago, and I don't know what the resolve ended up being because I got kicked out of the group. Fortunately, I wasn't a part. I was invited to this home game in Puerto Rico. It was a crypto game. And
red flag.
It was maybe it was mostly honestly I took it as one, but it was like mostly crypto rich people who were not professionals, and they were inviting a mix of professionals. I think like maybe Fee and 2 or 3 other pros got invites down. I think King Callis might have been there. I can't recall. Anyway, when it was all said and done, what ended up happening is the person. This is one of those. You post and then we square up afterwards type of situations. So what ends up happening is the manager of everything, and it was vouched for by like a very wealthy person who's incredibly well known, and it had the green flag look of approval of like, okay, well, it would take this really well-known person to fuck us over in order to get fucked over. And it was all set up underneath the umbrella of this like charity. So there was a manager holding all the funds for the charity, for the party, et cetera, and the next day after the event ended, I was still in the group chat, and we got a text saying Jacob, the guy who was running the fund or holding the money or whatever, left a suicide note, and that he had killed himself in the woods somewhere. claiming that, he had been long since depressed and the money was all he needed to make sure that his family was well off as he moved on into the next life type of thing. Now, obviously, this is like the simplest grift we've ever, like 0% this guy killed himself.
Right.
Nobody steals millions of dollars and then offs themselves.
Right.
Like, that's just not the way it works. So
I want you to think that.
So this, the detail, like Melissa's saying, like all the additional details and the added layers of like sob stories and all this other stuff, there's such red flags for when somebody's running a grift and is like backed into a corner.
It's honestly so interesting. It's not funny, but it's so interesting how like everybody who is sort of, when they are explaining themselves but they're lying, they all act the same way. It's just it's like so unoriginal, but like but it's like they all act the same. I watch a lot of those like detective interrogations and stuff, and it's always the same. Like, you just ramble and you give a lot of extra detail and you try and divert and distract and lead other places.
Yeah, it's like arguing
and
with
then you
Landon.
mix in some sob stories and some guilt. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shots fired. Not only that, but like it's one of those scenarios where they clearly have all the leverage because now you're the victim who's just hoping to find a way to get paid back. So you're willing to extend courtesies for like shit that is 99.9% false, right? Where it's just like, well, maybe he is sick. And, maybe he'll make it right. And maybe like, we don't have to pursue. And there's also like this aspect of like, you're helpless in recovering the funds. You are pretty hopeless in, making this right outside. You can obviously pursue criminal charges, but like, to the courts, this is pretty small. Guy took $40,000. Like,
I mean,
seems like a lot.
That's like, you can go to small claims
I'm
court.
sure you could. I'm certain you could, but
Wait,
like, are we
40K.
doing?
The girl took $37,000 and is in jail for 10 years now.
I think
she
I
got,
thought it was 100.
No, she got
No,
less than him.
37.
Oh.
She did all this
3.
work. She went on press tours. She was doing talks at colleges. I mean, this guy like barely did any work
Do you
compared
know
to
where
her.
it was?
I don't know. In the States.
Yeah, no, I was only gonna ask because it's like, where's this getting tried? California? Like, this seems like pretty
Are
unlikely
you
to.
saying that?
I don't know. It already got tried. She's in jail.
I meant with him.
Oh.
With
Wherever
Rob.
his state is.
Well, he lives in the Bay.
All right.
So yeah, I mean,
Cool.
I just think like California is like very unlikely to do much with this type of stuff. Like, they're so plugged up in the legal system.
You're allowed to do any crime there.
Are you gonna take Tab Boy to small claims court?
No, I have faith. I believe every one of the lies he tells me.
Checks took a while for it to settle in for him.
Checks in the mail, baby. Checks in the mail. Don't worry about it. We got my Connie stock is rising.
Yeah, he had a yellowtail collarbone or whatever.
I heard.
Collarbone?
Yellowtail
I heard it was the
collarbone.
best thing he's ever had.
It is the best grilled fish I've ever had in my life. And that me and Landon are going right after this podcast.
Man, the black cod is really good at
David Marr.
Nobu.
I don't like black
Black
cod.
cod miso.
Okay, before we get into our favorite fishes,
Yeah, really riveting.
I want to bring it back to this potential scandal. So I think like, with all the details kind of displayed out there, and we're kind of here as a reaction to it, right? Like, none of us lost anything in this. None of us were hands-on in the actual fundraising. None of us were, hands-on in the tearing down of Jami or anything in between. What I think is important to talk about is, number one, like, just understanding as a community that this shit happens. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't think there's fingers to point. Like, even though I kind of mentioned a little bit of hypocrisy perhaps with, or inconsistencies with a few people, that doesn't mean that they're at fault for Rob conning us.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course not.
But I do think that there's something to be stated about amplification of people who otherwise don't have platforms. Right?
Yeah.
And this desire to constantly be navigating in the social currency that is Twitter Spaces, the poker community, whatever the case may be, where a lot of him getting away with this, whether it was subconscious or conscious, was people attempting to collect some level of goodwill, right?
Yeah, it's almost like they're getting scammed, but they're almost like they are kind of paying and receiving something back.
Sort of. I mean, to be fair, like, the people who amplified him didn't give him any money. There was a big blow up fight Nick did like an hour and a half long fundraise for this guy. Like probably is the sole reason that he made as much money as he did. And they got into a blow up fight on Spaces because Rob outed Nick for not donating any money.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
Wait, hold on, really?
The audacity of this guy is
great.
like shocking me at every turn. Like he's literally like.
It's so consistent with people who do this shit.
Right,
though.
Exactly. Yes.
Like imagine going to a fundraiser for your fake cancer.
Right. And then getting mad at the person running it.
Shaking hands and kissing baby. Like what?
Right. And then getting upset that like the person running it didn't give you money.
That's so crazy.
It's insane. Yeah. It truly is insane, but it's such a good distraction tactic. You know what I mean? Where like you can just continually divide and conquer as much as you possibly can.
I guess so. I guess it is like a divide and conquer thing.
Yeah. Because I mean, it'd be very easy, especially from, again, like to circle this all back, the people who are pro Jami. It's very easy for them to come out of the woodwork now and just be like,
told you so.
You, and you, who are all tearing her apart, are now suddenly under the microscope.
And it's like, maybe we just like shouldn't like pedestalize and champion for people that we just like don't really know.
Right. That I think is the biggest takeaway.
Because it's like, just like, why?
Do some due diligence.
Or that you haven't Googled their name.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like do some due diligence. Like I think like Nick's heart was in the right place to want to do something like this for sure. But you have to understand the responsibility that does come with a platform. And like, it took me a lot of fucking up to kind of get it. And I'm sure Negreanu's gone through a lot of iterations where it's just like, well, I can't do this, that, or this anymore because, 500,000 people see it now.
Yeah. It's like hand on stove type shit.
I remember when Jason Mercier was like at his peak popularity, like mid 2010s.
Like WSOP.
He was the face of Poker Stars at the time, like right around the Black Friday-ish era.
Yeah, he played a lot in the big game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about a lot, but he played. But anyway.
The glasses.
Anyway, I remember he was like at the height of his popularity. This was like 2014, and I was at PCA with him and O'Brien. We were at dinner, and we were like chatting, and he was kind of like saying some things that I was just like, holy fuck, man, Jay's just like getting so big right now. And I remember asking him to like share something. And he like immediately shot it down. Like, sorry, bro, I don't share things on my Twitter. Like, I don't retweet anything. Like, basically, it's for business only.
Yeah, I don't amplify.
Yeah, and I was just like so, like taken aback. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you won't retweet my blog? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, business only. Like, and at the time, I was like so offended and so angry and upset.
How about you?
And looking back on it, like, what a sharp thing to do, right? Like, what a sharp thing to just be like, no, my social media is worth X.
Yeah.
And doing anything to jeopardize that is not only silly to my personal brand, but it's silly for my future earning potential as well. Because whenever shit like this goes down and you were the one leading the charge, whether you're on the right side or the wrong side, obviously when you're on the right side, it pans out and you get further clout moving down the line. Like a guy like Mike McDonald would be somebody that would come to mind where he doesn't speak often, but when he speaks, it's well received and well respected.
Except every year on Father's Day.
Oh yeah. But I mean,
are you dumb?
We're here for the memes. But generally it's like we take what he says as being a pretty sharp take because he is very thoughtful and doesn't just like speak off the cuff. He's not going to amplify off the cuff, that type of stuff.
For sure. I mean, the important part, at least in my like framework of thinking about this, is the intention, and of course it was good intention, but when it does go awry, you lose credibility as the person that's like running the ringleader of the operation of like championing.
I mean, you just kind of like, it sort of communicates to you that that person might be susceptible to people's manipulations, and like you should be critical of that. I mean, I think we should just all be thinking for ourselves anyway. Like, it's sort of like, just because someone else says someone's good doesn't mean they are.
Right. And vice versa. But you know how it goes.
You know how that should go.
Whenever you take a controversial take and it's particularly negative, that shit catches wildfire. So it's like, at the end of the day, the way that I see this perspective, like, I understand what Landon's saying where like intention matters. And I do agree with that. Like, I think the intention behind, or at least I hope the intention behind people wanting receipts from Jami was generally or genuinely protecting the community from a potential bad actor. And I would hope that the intention behind amplifying Rob's campaign was simply just doing something out of your good graces for somebody who may be suffering.
Yep.
Unfortunately, because this community is small and wealthy, it takes a lot more due diligence. It takes a lot more combing over and ensuring that the recipients are worth whatever good or bad type of attention you're trying to draw upon them.
Right. It's hard to have like the arbiter of causality. Right. It's like, oh, this person has X. Is this worth? There's none of that. So it's just a community at large. And even though it seems like some stuff like looks nice, doesn't mean it is. And at the same time, like my perspective on like donating to anything would be like, okay, even if this doesn't go to where I think it's going, I need to be okay with that.
Yeah.
From a personal standpoint.
Agreed.
I mean, I think there's like, it should be like sort of a general rule. Like if someone's asking for like money to be handed to them within a gambling community,
that they get scrutinized.
You know, well, not even that, but like it's probably a little nefarious a lot of times.
It's possible.
You know?
I mean, yeah, obviously.
It's sort of like if we were totally removed from poker and someone was like, hey, this person, there's this gambling community and someone really needs help.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Like,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
We saw it in NFTs a lot.
I just kind of assumed in general, like when you're kind of like being a benefactor in like a donation cause, like I know that like my intent, like if I end up getting like screwed over as in the money doesn't go where I think it is, that's also on me.
Yeah, and that's fair. And honestly, like that's why most of these campaigns just fizzle. And you know, people who are really in need oftentimes don't meet their goal, and people who are not in need oftentimes aren't able to grift. And a lot of that is just, you know, simply put, people are limited with resources, time, energy, attention, et cetera, et cetera. So without actually personalizing it, these things tend to get no traction.
Yep.
And I think that, like, you know, to Melissa's point, outside of it being the gambling community, I think that if you're going to, you know, whether it is in good faith or not, if you're going to ask a community to support something, whether it's your dream or your health or anything in between, you should be expecting scrutiny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, I don't think that anybody should be surprised when they get scrutinized. I don't think anybody should be offended when they get scrutinized. I think you should just be prepared to just
for sure
back
like,
your side.
It's almost go your side. If you do something like that and someone questions you, instead of taking the stance of how dare you ask
like
me something like that?
Right? How dare you? I'm dying from a disease.
Correct.
Right.
If you do the, okay, I'm willing to provide all of the information necessary and give you.
I think most people would just provide it up front.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense. Here's my medical.
Like,
Right.
without even being asked.
It's almost like you should, you should be expected to be asked many things.
Yeah.
Not just the ethos of like,
Right.
how dare you?
And the only receipt that was ever provided from the Rob side of things was also shared by Snoop Dogg. It was just a simple screenshot of
it's My Chart. Right?
Yeah, it was a My Chart app.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally just says, "Hey doc, I was hoping I could get a copy of my diagnosis emailed/messaged to me. Thanks for all the help. God bless." And it's like, apparently this doctor hasn't even practiced in like 2.5 years.
Right.
So it's like, what are we doing here? I mean, this isn't even like effort. You're not even really trying.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, both of my grandparents died from cancer. I would have had no issue whatsoever in minutes getting a hold of their paperwork.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, this is not the hurdle that people are making it out to be. Like, and I'm not even them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not even my medical record. I'm just like next of kin.
Yeah, my mother passed away from cancer, and there was a GoFundMe for her, and it raised about like $150,000, and there was proof. It's right there. Everybody, you have everything, literally. Like,
I'm surprised that GoFundMe doesn't require.
I know, right?
They probably should.
They should.
Right. It seems
They
like
should have a vetting system.
Yeah. It seems like they should be on the hook a little bit to vet.
Right. Like you have to upload some certain documents before your
how does
fund can go
GoFundMe
live.
An
work
application.
/ make money? Like, how does GoFundMe make?
They take a piece.
No, I don't think
I don't
so.
think-
No,
One
I
of them
think
takes a piece. There's two platforms, and one of them takes a piece. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, not GoFundMe. I think it's the
You roll your eyes.
Kickstarter probably
Sure
does.
it's like
Kickstarter probably does,
It's
but
not
that's a different thing.
Kickstarter.
But like, I'm pretty sure GoFundMe. I mean,
Well,
you
it's
know what?
important to actually know.
how
If
else would you
if
know?
nobody actually knows, it's okay to say we don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Instead of pretty sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't
I
know.
would guess that they do not take a piece, but I don't
I'd
know.
rather say that than like, oh, I'm pretty sure this does.
It's easily Googleable. I'm curious.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why. No, I get why, because it's like, oh shit, like someone's an imposter and they're getting told like, hey, are you an imposter? It's like,
Right.
Yeah, so
you should be willing to answer the questions.
Yeah.
So there's no fee to start or manage your GoFundMe. However, to help operate, one small transaction fee of
Per donation.
Yep, so it's 2.9% plus 30 cents.
I mean, so
you
per
get
donation.
$300 out of a 10K donation.
Well, this is where I'm going with that when it comes to like GoFundMe should vet, like
It's high rate.
theoretically, like they're getting paid to
Right.
just have a thing on the platform.
2.9% uncapped.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
In this economy?
In this economy, jeez, Louise.
Damn.
We're getting raked hand over foot. The DoorDash is inflating all their prices. Stanley gotta stop playing on Hustler because fucking DoorDash is getting too expensive for me.
That's incredible.
Oh,
That's just absolutely incredible.
You can come on the podcast and talk about it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and look, I know that there's going to be backlash at the end of this podcast when it's all said and done because, quite frankly, I've come to understand that people just hear what they want to hear and catch maybe every 10th word. But I do think that it's a little bit tone deaf, like after the fact when, all this shakes out and it's like pretty clear that this guy very likely or allegedly
It don't look
scammed
good,
the community. Yes. I think it's like pretty tone deaf to put out a tweet like, good news. Looks like the dude was a scammer who didn't really have cancer. I suspected as such, but I couldn't say anything because I already used up my 2023
Why are there
poker
so
cancer
many
call
people
out.
saying that? Why are so many people like? It's okay that you were wrong. Or it's okay to be wrong if you were. I mean, but it's like, why do you feel the need to like let everyone know that it's like, oh, well, I knew it.
Well,
It's just like signaling.
it's that. I mean, that came from Todd, which is, basically saying like he's staying consistent. He just stayed quiet because the angry mob forced him to be quiet.
When have they ever forced him to be quiet before?
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with Slay. Like he's like, there's people on here trying to ruin me for questioning Jami Lafay's now dunking on me for believing in the Rob Mercer guy. Make up your fucking minds. People told me he really had cancer. Why would I question it? That's an insane sentence.
I don't think.
I can't. Speak
I don't think Slay ever.
we're
Like,
in a truce.
I don't think Slay ever promoted Mercer.
What are you talking about? I have a tweet right here that says, if anybody was on the space last night, it was hard to listen to the pain in this man's voice discussing how he's been harassed by Lafay for trying to start a GoFundMe to get into the main. Very emotional when Rob talked about cherishing every day. He is dying. I will be donating.
That sounds like support.
I think that
does sound like support.
Sounds like fucking
Connor
receipts.
just like says stuff.
No, I didn't think Slay ever.
This is what I'm trying to get help.
To be fair, it's not just Connor that said stuff. Like Slay says stuff. And he tries to like walk back the internet that exists with receipts. So it's like, at the end of the day, yeah, you eat some fucking crow, you get one wrong.
It's like it's like completely okay to get things wrong. We're all human. We all fuck up.
Well, it's okay to get things wrong. In my opinion, it's not okay to be a hypocrite.
Sure.
Right? So it's like, what was the true intention of calling out Lafay when it was all said and done? What was the intent behind that? What was the purpose? Like, from Slay's perspective, he's basically saying like, I was told that she was a scammer and I was going to expose it. And then in this instance, he's saying, I was told this guy genuinely had cancer and I was going to support it.
Who's the person telling?
Yeah.
Who's this?
Yeah.
There's this mastermind like, haha.
Right. But it's like, you don't get to be the boy who cried wolf if you're the town crier. You know what I mean? Like you can't be the person shouting from the rooftops of what the community is supposed to listen to and then also be the boy who cried wolf.
You can, but it's just going to affect the way people
It should.
Consider what you say.
Yeah, it should.
You're allowed to say whatever you want.
Well, I guess that's kind of where I'm going with this when it comes to being part of these things. Like when they don't, kind of aren't up to snuff, you then take a credibility hit, as you should.
Yeah, as you should. I'm just not positive that's always the case. And I think that that's why the conversation was worth having here tonight, because in my opinion, there obviously tend to be some inconsistencies, but it's like particularly unfortunate that we're seeing this play out in some sort of like gendered way. Like that feels especially icky to me, especially like, when there are people that don't exactly have the best past history whenever it comes to these type of gendered discussions. What are you laughing at, man? What are you laughing at?
So I was talking to Slay.
Sure.
Yeah, you guys said thanks for support.
I was like laughing my ass off. Immediately put a tweet up. And he was like, "Damn, I didn't remember that tweet." got me on that one.
That's eat the crow, right?
Respect.
No, respect for that.
No, 'cause he reached out to me. He's like, I didn't promote her, or promote him.
Yeah.
Bro said, bro got caught in 4K.
Yeah, sometimes you
I
get
tweet too much.
That's funny.
But he did not donate.
Yeah, well, good. I'm
Why
glad.
did he say he will be?
I'm glad.
Wow.
Like, look,
I think he owes Rob a donation.
Him and Bertucci?
that should be the
I think they owe Rob some money in my book.
that should be the punishment that they each have to give him
They
like
have to pay
$1,000,
Rob.
or give money back to the people who donated.
Or like an actual like GoFundMe, right? That like maybe.
No, I mean, like,
I know,
look,
I'm just fucking around.
like, there's some good that takes place, but I guess like my instinctual cautionary tale is like, let's stop trying to do this inside of our four walls. Like, we don't need to be the community that
We're not Sherlock Holmes.
No, not that. I mean, sure, that too, but I'm just saying, like, we don't need to be the community that like gets everybody who's sick into the main event.
Oh, I mean, fine, yeah.
Like, we don't need to be Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
You know,
we aren't.
Well, Make-A-Wish exists for a reason, and they actually vet people. So maybe we should leave it to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't exactly have the credentials to do this
vet
correctly.
people if they have cancer or not, and then donate a bunch of money to them.
And it's like,
yeah,
it's so much more of a ridiculous thing, because it's not like he was putting a GoFundMe up to like care for it. When you go back to the red flags aspect, it wasn't like he was even being coy about it. He wasn't saying like, I'm dying and it's expensive and I need help. He was literally just like preying upon the feel-good story of the community putting a guy who's sick into the main event.
Yeah.
And it was just like literally like, hey, I kind of want to play this 10K. What do you guys think? and that's, to be fair, like I'm specifically trying to apply this to people who are like on the outskirts, where like they're not well known, they're not understood to be members of the community. We don't know if they're good, bad, or indifferent. Like, I think the KL thing is a totally opposite example.
Way different.
Where like the community rallied behind him and took care of him because he is an upstanding member that we could already
people
vet.
already knew him. They knew him in person.
Right.
Those are the people that we
Those
could
are
help.
who we should support.
Not random ass guy. Hey guys, I got cancer.
Right. Support one of your own. Don't reach just to have a feel good story. Like, I'm the guy who got him in, kind of thing.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I have a message from E-fro that I wanted to read to you.
Do it. Shout out to my man
I
E-fro.
had heart surgery, got myself to the WSOP for the main event, and all I wanted was to not get showered by Matt Berkey.
Don't do
We
this.
can't always make our wishes come true.
Don't do this.
Oh, Berkey.
Wow.
Don't do
Fucking
that.
You're a bad guy.
All right, you know what?
No. You're a bad guy.
I mean, of course he thinks we shouldn't be granting wishes.
I'm gonna fix
But
this.
it's E-fro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix this. I was waiting to do this next week.
Oh.
And I haven't reached out to him yet to do it, so I don't even know if it's possible. But E-fro, if you're listening, and I know you are,
he hasn't missed the fucking
I know you
episode.
Dude,
are.
he literally
You're not
hasn't.
under the knife today, and that was the only time you missed. So if you are listening, E-fro, and you are off on Labor Day weekend, the 1st to the 3rd, we would love to have you at my expense to the Academy.
Wow, let's go.
Come on by, E-fro.
So to our number one supporter in the chat, E-fro, if you would like to attend the Academy, it's on me, buddy.
Yes, let's go. E-fro at the Academy.
Nothing would make me happier than if he showered me.
Oh my God. It would be
Just out of
so
spite.
funny.
I think Landon's thinking about his 10% right now.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, that'd be the best response ever. Like,
He's
thank
like,
you. No
I
thanks.
already know all that shit
I'll
you
pass.
teach.
I'll pass. But hey, if you're free for a picture, maybe.
Like he just wanted a picture. He didn't want to do work and come like,
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I
don't
need
blame
the
him.
context here
So
of the Showergate.
So I went to the Horseshoe like the next to last day before things were ending or whatever. I think I was there to cash out. I can't remember. I ended up spending the night in the hotel room, but I ran into who did I run into? I ran into Shirin and one of her friends. And they were like chatting me up at the escalator, like going towards the parking garage. I was coming down and they were just like walking through. So it's like 11:30 and I'm just like shooting the shit with them, not really paying much attention to my surroundings. And apparently E-fro was like just there in my peripheral waiting to like say hi, or he might have even approached me. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I never saw him. I'm sorry, man.
Fucked up. Damn.
The true irony is, like, I probably said hello to 500 people over the summer and took pictures with half of them.
Wow, nice flex.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I mean, can his head get any bigger?
You took all these pictures.
Dude,
and
you're like Mike Mattisau. Many people you
Did you
talk
make
to
sure
take
the lighting was
with.
good on all these pictures?
You know Brad Pitt?
My pictures are so bad. I'm the least photogenic human being on the planet. It's like, I can't even explain it. It's like a different face forms whenever they go to click the picture. Like a smile that's never appeared before just shows up out of the blue.
Or something?
I honestly, I don't know. It's been like this since I was a kid. I've never taken a good picture. There's never been one where I was like,
You
know
can be
what?
trained.
I look pretty reasonable there. No, I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
It's just always.
It's not genetic.
E-fro said, oh, it was a full approach. And hey, Berkey, how's it going?
That's not true. That can't be true.
Fucking showers, E-fro.
God.
That just can't be true.
Too good, man.
I mean, Jamie Carstetter says, I actually heard E-fro needed heart surgery because Berkey broke his heart.
Oh my God. That is true.
I can't do this
Fucking
anymore.
curse that are so good.
I just can't do this anymore. All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to chat about?
That's it.
I have a GoFundMe going up tonight.
Is it too soon to ask what's the over-under on the next GoFundMe that's going to pop up after this scandal?
I would hope it would be a while.
All those scammers are waiting they're like, oh, he got 40,000.
We are not ripe for the picking right now.
He got 40,000.
Look at that.
37-3. You sit in jail for 10 years, 40,000. Nothing will ever happen.
Man, it is truly crazy how this community dilutes money, right?
I mean, we just hate it.
Yeah, we can't keep,
Yeah, I mean, we give it
keep
up.
it.
Did you hear what I did with Ace 5 today?
That sounded like making money to me.
Goddamn right. I'm going to teach you how to play that hand, young man.
Max value.
Yeah, show one of the cards.
Yeah, show one card. That's how you play the hand. You show
I'm
one
not
card.
gonna lie. You won this hand because you showed the card.
Right, of course.
Facts. Absolute fact. I win $4,000 without showing the card. I win $40,000 by showing it.
The metagame is real when the fucking card gets shown.
It is real.
I'm pretty sure every single time I've seen somebody's cards or one of them, like I try to make them fucking fold it.
Well, yeah.
I never have anything, of course.
As you should.
And then they call me because they know I'm trying to do that.
As you should.
As they should.
That's going to do it for us today. We're going to be back at the normal time slot the next 2 days at noon Pacific. We have a big week ahead. We're going to be doing some giveaways. We have some announcements to make for Underdog Sports. I think we're going to be doing a best ball.
Oh, cool.
We also are going to be giving you more details for the WBT cruise that we'll be giving away in the future. And maybe even one of you lucky winners will get to join E-fro at the Academy.
Wow.
So don't forget, we do still have seats to that available. September 1st to the 3rd. You can head to academy.solve4why.io if you're interested in that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys all noon tomorrow.
Peace.
Later.